Hey everyone, it's me, Joe, and today I am joined by my good friend...
Other Joe.
I feel like you always take forever whenever I try to introduce you.
No, it's not on purpose or
Is it because I
anything.
called you a friend and we're actually rivals to the core?
I don't know. You tell me. Why do you think I paused during my introduction?
We've had a long rivalry through the years. But anyway, so today we're talking about Tower of God Episode 3. We're going to be giving our thoughts on the different parts of this episode. And this is
Wait, we're supposed to watch
spoiler-free.
episode 3? Shoot, I watched episode 4, dude.
This is a spoiler-free video, so if you are an anime only, then you're totally fine. You can stick around, but midway or maybe 3/4 of the way through this video, we'll let you know when it does get into spoiler territory, and then we're going to talk about just a couple of things for Webtoon readers only. So, you've been warned.
We will definitely not spoil the fact that...
Talking about the episode. Basically, this episode was divided into 3 sections, or 2 sections with a sort of intermission. You got Hansung's test, which is sort of like the first half, and then you have the in-between with Quant and Hansung-Yu, and then you have the crown game with Lero explaining what's going on, and then Anak fighting Concho and his team. So let's talk about Hansung's test. Joe, what did you think of that portion of the episode?
Well, first, I think we're missing out on a very important part that happened at the very beginning. The whole Kun flashback.
True. I guess I was including that in Hansung, but I guess that's before, isn't it?
Yes.
Just Kun's backstory in general is kind of like its own thing, even though it does take place partially during the test.
We learn about the Kun family and how he was exiled. We learn so many things.
I feel like that portion of Kun's backstory, it's really fascinating because even us Webtoon readers never got a visualization like that, and they certainly gave us a lot more for this part of the story. So for example, when Kun is talking about Bomb's eyes and like protecting those eyes, and Hansung mentions it, all that doesn't even happen until like chapter 53 in the original webtoon. So they kind of condensed it a little bit, which is pretty interesting.
Which, I mean, I think it's okay.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah, I think it enhances things.
I agree.
Before I go into more, I want to say I really enjoyed the episode.
Yeah, I did too.
I was a very big fan of this episode. I think Hansung's use test is one of my favorite arcs. One of my favorite things to happen in season 1.
Yeah, I think it's like the first brain test, and like you first time you get to see Kun in action with his deductive skills and everything. And I think that it like blended really well in the anime with Kun's backstory. Like they didn't have to. That's not how that's how it happened in the webtoon, but they obviously took that to a whole nother level in the anime, and it turned out really well. I think so too.
I agree, and we can talk about the first something that they did.
Yeah.
Well, it's not really a change, but Mr. Incandescent Plastic Bag.
Mr. Neon Plastic Bag is what I'm calling him. That's what we called him in the dub. That's what they called him in the webtoon.
Plastic Bag.
Fluorescent. That is the translation I saw. Yes.
Top tier husband. Just letting you know right now. He got into the tower.
Top tier husbando.
He got into the tower based on his intelligence, dude. Valuable asset.
That's true. I mean, and he's a handsome boy. I'd put him fairly high on the tier list.
Subjective, but he was definitely a big plastic bag boy.
It depends on what you're into, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, no, that was I was for a long time I was watching the episode and I was like, there's no way they cut him out, right? And I was like, they kept talking about the sky and everything, and I was like, there's no way, right? And then he showed up and I was like, my boy, it's been too long. I thought that part was handled really well. Kun's outburst, though, what about that? Because that was not in the webtoon. I saw some people who weren't happy with it. Like, I thought it was kind of neat and kind of an interesting thing to add in, but it was sort of out of character. What do you think?
Let's talk about this, though. Did Mr. Neon Plastic Bag ever talk about, like, Kun's family?
No, I don't think so. Not that I can recall.
Yeah, not that I can either. Maybe maybe it was like a brief snippet of like, oh, you're from the Kun family, but never about like
about being abandoned and his sister and
Yeah.
everything. Definitely not. So that was added in. So like, Kun doesn't like jump on him and try to kill him after he says something in the original, but I think he does like grab him by the neck he does something. Like there's tension for sure. Maybe he doesn't grab him, but there's tension. But they obviously took that to a whole other level here.
Yeah, he doesn't like lose control. He doesn't like lose his focus for a second and jump on him.
Do you think that's breaking character, and or is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's not. I mean, you could say it's breaking character, but I really enjoyed that part.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting it, and I was like, oh my god.
Dude, that took me by surprise.
I was like, this is how they take him out of the show. This is how
this explains why he's gone.
This is gonna execute him right outside of Han Sung-Yu's test.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it. I think it fell into. This was definitely, I would say, a Kun episode.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
And I think it really did like drive home the fact that he is troubled in a way. Where he can't trust people.
Yeah, he's pretty much been scarred.
Yeah, like he let people in, and then he can't trust anymore.
And we're gonna see if that continues on. I mean, he's the whole point of that test. It's interesting because Han Sung's test in general, I feel like you can have a lot of different outlooks on it. Like, what was the goal of the test? And I always thought it was don't overthink. Like, all the clues are there. Kun was just overthinking, but there's also a huge element of trusting. Like you said, he did just because Neon Plastic Bag said the full 5-minute thing. That made Kun immediately say that can't be it. Like, he has to be tricking us. When in fact that was
he told
just
Bomb
that.
Immediately, just like ignore that information.
Yes, he said just don't even ask him for help. Blah blah blah. He just completely shut him out. And that, I feel like, also another interesting thing, this is kind of a little bit different, but with Rack's part of that test where he just opens a door, I heard someone say that they sort of changed it a little bit, where Rack was like, there are no clues. In the original he says there are no clues, so obviously we just had to guess. But in this one he just says it was instinct. So I don't know. They kind of changed that a little bit, and a couple people pointed that out to me and got me thinking a little bit.
You know, that's true. You just pointed that out to me just now.
Yeah, I forgot about it. It just clicked in my head.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
He was just like, Rack is just like freaking out, and then he's like, there's no choices, so let's just choose one.
Right.
And then Kun is like, dude, you idiot, what are you doing?
And he's like, isn't it obvious we just have to guess?
Yeah.
And that honestly says a lot. Like, that sort of shows Rack's, I wouldn't say intelligence, but like his own sort of decision making. And that's all. I feel like that also makes like Han Sung saying, oh, you need these types of teammates. That sort of adds a new layer to it. But when he says it's just instinct, I don't know. I feel like that kind of takes away from it just a little bit.
I like what Bomb said after though. Like when Rack's like, Rack is the smartest on the team, and it's like, didn't you just say it was instinct?
Yeah. He's like, follow me, the genius. Yeah. But anyway, I think Han Sung's test as a whole was handled very well. As I said in my reaction, I felt it was a bit fast-paced. I did like Kun's backstory a lot, though. They portrayed it in a fantastic way. Even though a couple people I've seen didn't love the way they handled him, just because he kept getting emotional. But I think one person said he hasn't quite found his foundation yet in Bomb and everything.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I feel like it fits a lot.
I feel like right now, if you did not know about anything about Tower of God, and you were just watching the anime, I mean, let me know in the comments. But I feel like, you know, it's probably not a good idea to trust Kun completely right now. I mean, we all like Kun, but can we really trust him?
I mean, everything we've seen of him, like when he's by himself and he's thinking, has been like, he has the Black March. I bet he's going to be useful. Or like, I bet there's something going on with him. So he does have a lot of ulterior motives going on. And that's true, though. Like, if you watch...
And with this thing now...
Yeah.
With this new flashback, too, is it's clear that he doesn't trust anybody.
He's purely in it for himself, and we don't really know what his true motives are yet. But it is interesting that you point out, like, if you're an anime-only watcher, you're not going to think he broke character, just because us readers know Kun so well that we just think, oh, that's different. But, you know, the way they're portraying him in the anime doesn't have to be the exact same as the manhwa, and I feel like it does fit. Like, anime Kun, it does fit for him to get a little emotional. He hasn't quite found his foundation yet, like I said.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I agree with that.
Cool. Okay, well, overall, Hansung test was great. Let's spend a couple minutes talking about the intermission. So, the 3 mysterious people in Quant's test when he was overseeing that test. First of all, the fact that we got Quant, kind of epic.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
I feel like that was.
Yeah. Ooh.
I feel like
You
it
like
was.
it?
No. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I was gonna say maybe it was a little early, but actually no, it wasn't, because that did happen right
It did.
after the
It
crown
did.
game.
Yeah.
That was the cliffhanger of one of the episodes.
It was I want to say 13 or 14 when we first met Quant, and he was talking to Hansung. So, yeah, no, it was perfectly timed as far as matching up with the webtoon. But, I don't know. Once again, I thought it was kind of quick, but it is honestly kind of quick in the original. So, I feel like it's okay. Just a little
what else could they
tease.
say
A little
more?
Quant tease. Yeah.
How much more could they have really said besides, like, dude, like,
Right.
33 people survived my test, and it's like, dude, we're gonna get in so much trouble, and it's like, you can cover it up, right, Hansung? And it's like, yeah, yes, I can. I'm a genius after all.
Right. I love you, Hansung. I love how he said that. That's so great. I love Quant.
I love his
thought that was
voice,
great.
too. I think it's great.
Yeah. I feel like
I think it's
all
very
the
fit.
voices are fitting really well so far. So, I mean, not much more needs to be said about that. We love Quant here on the Dr. Bonehead channel, so
Oh, yes.
that was a happy moment for us to see that. And then, of course, we're getting to the crown game. So, actually, before even the crown game, there's that scene where they're just, like, waiting for the next test. I thought that was very nice. Shibisu and Baum interacting was great, and I kind of, like, they actually sort of changed it, like, the room that they're in. I kind of liked that. Like, I didn't think about that till just now, but the background was kind of nice. In the original, it's just kind of like a blank room. So I feel like they're adding a lot of detail, which I like a lot. The drink that Shibisu gets for Rack, I did not realize this in the reaction, but it's banana black, like bananas. That's so funny. Like, I don't know. They're already teasing at... Is that a spoiler?
Bananas?
Is that a spoiler?
No.
Rack likes bananas, people.
Rack eats food.
He eats
you
food.
guys.
That's not a spoiler.
He eats probably... You know what? He eats the most food in Tower of God.
Yeah.
Probably.
He's always comparing things to food and...
Then again, actually no. Barrow's not in it enough to convince
yes,
me.
when you guys meet a certain character, then they'll surpass Rack. That's true.
I don't think so. I think Rack still has eaten more food total, but we have only seen Rack eat more food.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, so I like that part. We got to see some side characters more, like First Emperor, our favorite boy.
Yeah, First Emperor had a line.
He was chilling. He had a line. That was nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for First Emperor.
Me too. That
You
guy.
guys should be excited for First Emperor
You guys,
too.
yeah, anime onlys. It's not a spoiler, but First Emperor's pretty great. But we got to see just some side characters. I don't know. The whole thing was just pretty nice overall. The pre-Crown Game stuff. Do you have anything to say about that before we talk about the Crown Game?
I'm surprised Concho. Well, I mean, going back to Hansung Yu's test a little bit, I'm surprised Concho's team had a moment in Hansung Yu's test.
They did in the original, too.
They did, but I'm surprised they kept it in.
I mean, I think it's cool that they're included, because, like, obviously, Concho's team... Let's just talk about the Crown Game, since we're talking about Concho.
Yeah.
Concho's team, they're obviously side characters. I mean, we didn't really get any sort of introduction to them like we did to Anaka and Hots, but we had seen them in the background. But it is cool that they still included those moments with them, because I feel like Tower of God is... A lot of Tower of God is about its side characters and about building up the world. And even if they don't have a ton of lines, it's still cool to see them do something, just like they did in the webtoon. But the Crown Game in general, we were talking about this a little bit before we started, but the explanation for the Crown Game, while I did like the imagery, like with Chibi, Baum-kun, and Rack, we did feel like it was a little bit too simple and quick. The explanation maybe wasn't in-depth enough, and the rules might not have been explained as well. What do you think, Joe?
If you are an anime-only watcher and you are confused by the rules of the Crown Game, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. It's a little bit strange.
Yeah.
But basically, when someone steps off with the crown, well, God, I that's funny because these are my lines. I explained the Crown Game in the dub.
Yeah, in our dub. It's
the Crown Game.
Yeah.
Once someone grabs first person to grab the crown and sit on the throne, they become the king of the next round. But
Right.
they have to stay on the throne the whole time. If they get off the throne, that team loses. But then again, because you were saying like it's weird because like they don't really explain.
The way they explained it in the anime was like everybody in that round loses if the person gets off the chair, which is like maybe that's how it was in the webtoon. I'm honestly not even sure, but
it won't come into play.
Right, like it's not something you need to really worry about. There's 5 rounds in the crown game, so we just saw round 1. Anok's team decimated Concho's team, but the reason that Shibisu was so like, what are you doing, Anok, is because Anok now has to sit on the chair for all the rest of the rounds if they want to win the game. So instead of having Shibisu sit on the chair, who is practically useless at combat as far as we've seen, and then having Anok and Hats defend him, now Shibisu and Hats have to defend Anok, which doesn't make sense as much sense. I like how they handled Rack, how excited he was watching the fight and watching the weapon at work. I thought that was pretty awesome.
I like that he was pressing the button and saying, I want to fight.
Yeah, see, it's like those details that aren't in the original, I feel like that's what makes the anime. They're so charming and like they fit so well even if they're not in the original. It's cool. I like seeing that.
It is very cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, and like I mentioned in my reaction, I do feel like the Crown game was slightly rushed, the whole thing in general, but not bad, and I feel like they still handled it practically perfectly. I mean, it's still very well. And then next episode's going to be so exciting. I really am so hyped for next episode, the continuation of the Crown game. I think it's going to be awesome. But anyway, any last minute thoughts before we enter quick spoiler territory? There's not much to talk about, but
I liked the episode a lot.
We liked it a lot.
I don't really have a number to give it though.
Oh,
but
no? Okay.
I'm gonna say it's a good one.
Yes.
It's a good episode. Really good. Good. 7 goods.
Seven goods.
7 goods out of mouth. Perfect.
7 goods out of mouth. I would give it, if I had to give it a number, an 8.5 out of 10, just because I do feel like it was just a tiny bit rushed. But other than that, fantastic episode. I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, I like the changes they made.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Han Sung-Yu's test.
Yeah, it was all just
I
solid.
enjoyed it all.
It was very solid. So, all right, quick spoiler territory. We're going to talk about spoilers. You have been warned. So if you're still watching, get out of here. In 5 seconds, I'm going to say something. That's spoiler. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First Emperor's shtick is that you never see him use his super duper king flame punch. That's my spoiler for the spoiler territory.
Super duper flame king punch.
Yes. And like the funny thing was when we see him in episode 2, he starts to use it and he's about to take out people with it, but then the camera shifts, so we still don't get to see it, like even in that extra moment. I think that's so great.
I'm so excited to see it not happen.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the next round. So we'll see Hot.
Is he the next round? I thought he was in the
next round for sure. Because
really?
Round 2 is Serena Holaro and First Emperor Daod and Clocker, I believe are their names.
Isn't Shibisu the one that's freaking out? It's like, how come we never get to see you do the super duper flame king punch? I thought he used it against
later though. Isn't that during the hide and seek test that he says that? I think, I don't even know, but that is the running joke. But I know for sure it's round 2 because round 3 is when Bomb's team enters. Because at the end of round 2, Anok leaps off the chair. So, gosh, I really hope anime onlys are gone at this point. Regardless, the only other thing I wanted to say about spoiler-wise was Rachel's revelation that she's actually there. It was way sooner than in the webtoon. Well, not way sooner, but a few chapters sooner. Bomb's already noticing her, and he doesn't start to notice her until the last round of the Crown game in the original. What do you think about that, Joe? Is that a good thing, bad thing, neither?
I'm totally fine with it. I think that it is totally fine for because the anime is such a visual thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's fine for it to show that. I think in the webtoon you can kind of get around making it more mysterious, I guess. But I guess, if you have read the webtoon, it's totally for sure it's Rachel, or Michelle Light as she likes to say.
Right, Michelle Light. Yeah.
But I actually I'm fine with it.
Cool.
I think that it doesn't quite ruin anything. I know that some people aren't happy about them, like just showing that it's
just
Rachel
straight
for
up
sure.
showing it, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. There's not like, if it's not Rachel, like who is it? Who from Bum's backstory could it possibly be?
Well,
is that gonna be Levin? Is Levin gonna be on the? Is he back?
Is Levin back, boys? You know what's so sad? I was hoping that he managed to pass, but people are saying that his teammates. We got to see his teammates there, but like from the webtoon. But his teammates are there with like a third guy that they added in to like replace Levin.
Oh yeah,
almost confirming that he's gone. Yeah,
Mike, it's my OC. That is who is on that team.
Dude, did you send your OC to SIU and he was like, "Why not?"
Yeah,
he just included it into the anime. Tulalan, yo, that'd be like the craziest Easter egg if Tulalan actually was part of their testing group.
He's a spy. Tulalan. I don't think you guys quite understand how important Tulalan is to Tower of God.
Tulalan is my boy. If you all are so confused at what we're talking about, go watch our first tier list we did on all the characters in Tower of God.
Go see who was at the top of S tier for like a second and then immediately brought back down.
Sort of the running joke of that video, but also we were totally serious about his importance to the story, his importance to the show. If we ever do a Husbando tier list, he'll be best boy for sure.
And
next to
like,
Neon
I
Plastic
think
Bag.
it was the only time where I really genuinely cried when reading Tower of God.
You cried,
when Tulalan showed up. Yeah, it was a really emotional part.
It was just pure bliss for you.
I just couldn't. As soon as he said he was just a spare.
Yeah.
God, we've gone so off the rails.
Yep, we went from talking about episode 3 to talking about Tulalan. I don't know how.
Tulalan hype for the anime, okay?
If he's not included in the anime, we riot, okay?
I will absolutely riot.
I'm seeing hashtags on Twitter, hashtag justice for Levin. If Tulalan is not in here, hashtag justice for Tulalan. That's all I gotta say.
Please put Tulalan in season 1 somehow.
Well, now I'm gonna like look at all the backgrounds and see if he's there. But anyway, any last minute thoughts before we wrap up this review?
Good episode. I enjoyed everything with Kun. Han-Sung Yu was great. Shibisu also great. Rak also great.
Bomb also great. I liked the extra dialogue with Bomb and Kun at the beginning. That was nice, you know.
Mr. Neon Plastic Bag. Love that man. I don't know why I like Mr. Neon Plastic Bag, but I'm glad he was in it.
Yeah, that was great. Oh, yeah, Leirero also kind of was a little bit more goofy this episode. Like, when he came up to the regulars, he was like, he said something in a
He's like, oh, look at you two being friends.
Yeah, look at this friendship.
It warms my heart to see regulars making something. I don't know. It wasn't anything like that, but that was in the webcomic too, but I liked it.
Yeah, right. It was cool. That was nice. Get some extra later row character. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this review, leave a like. It supports the channel, and subscribe for more Tower of God reactions and reviews and stuff. And follow Joe on Twitter and on Twitch. Links are in the description down below. He is a massive Tower of God fan, and I'm sure he'd appreciate the support.
You can type it at Dr._Bonehead at twitter.com.
He likes to do this because we're both named Joe, and he thinks it'll confuse you. No, his Twitter username is @Chromix20.
If you get confused,
I'm Perfect Joe, and he's Lesser Joe.
I won't make fun of you.
I'm Better Joe, he's Lesser Joe.
Excuse me?
Oh, actually, a lot of people who watch these videos call you Other Joe, and it makes me very happy.
Really? Well,
because they know me as Joe.
So. You're Other Joe to everyone else.
Not everyone.
To all of my friends. I mean, it only makes sense.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong. But
it's fine. It's okay to be Other Joe. I'm fine with being Other Joe to everyone. But you know, if you ever want to say, if you ever want to call this Joe Other Joe, that would be cool too. You know, I'd be fine with that.
Guys, please continue calling him Other Joe. It's good for his ego because he likes to let his ego go out of control. So it's good to humble him.
It's true. I do. My ego goes so out of control.
Yeah, okay,
I had a huge power. I had a huge power trip putting Gjøse on the top of the waifu tier list.
That was a little insane. Go watch our waifu tier list.
I stick by it.
Yeah, I do too. I do. Part of me regrets just ruining your moment, but it was too funny to resist. But anyway, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Again, leave a like if you enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next Tower of God review. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.